Oh, hello, didn't see you there. How are you doing? Welcome to another What the Papers Said. In this particular episode, I'm flying solo because Bob's gone to New Brighton with his missus. So he's off on a jolly, driving around, swanning about, waving out the window, people shouting it's Rob Hughes and his Mrs. Jane. And I'm in here scraping coal off the pit face. But I'm happy to be there. So today I'm looking at a copy of disc from the September of 1972. David Cassidy, Teeny Bop Idol on the cover. It's a good one, this actually, and as you can see, it's in very nice nick. Melanie for Britain, a big story. Melanie, brand new key. I don't know any more tunes by her than that. I heard a tune actually by Melanie on Six Music not so long ago, and it was great, so I'm probably doing her a disservice, but also on the front cover here, it says Straub's add rock guitarist. Now this is quite prescient really, because Straub's used to work with David Bowie, didn't they? And they used to hang out at the Arts Lab and all that kind of stuff. And from what I can remember, they did a B-side taking the mickey out of Ziggy Stardust. So it seemed to be a little bit of a jibe, the fact that Bowie was folky and then he went to rock. But now they're going to rock as well. And of course, you've got September 1972, Bowie has just cracked it. So, to the Straubs, really. And again, I don't wish to show me ignorance, even though I've got loads of it. But Part of the Union was their big tune, wasn't it? Which was pretty naff. But anyway, that's just my opinion. You might be a big fan and I might have just offended you. If so, I'm so sorry. Okay, so there we go. Interesting story here. Ferry enters hospital, Roxy tour off. Roxy Music, whose British tour has been postponed due to the illness of Brian Ferry, are unlikely to perform again until November. Ferry has been suffering from serious throat trouble for some weeks, and several other Roxy dates have been cancelled, although, despite his condition, the band played the London Rainbow gig with David Bowie. As we know, Ferry's condition worsened last week, and he was ordered to have his tonsils removed immediately by a Harley Street specialist. I'd expect no less for Brian Ferry, wouldn't you? He's not going to go on a waiting list, is he? Just to let you know what's going on in the world. We've got here the chart. So, number one in the album chart, Never a Dull Moment, Rod Stewart. Number one in the singles chart, Mama, We're All Crazy Now by Slade, containing their bad grammar, as usual. Also, Fanny Open next month. And there's obviously a connection there with Fanny and Bowie. Anything else interesting going on there? 1 billion people to see Elvis, it says here. A mammoth 1 billion viewers will see Elvis Presley on TV next January with a 1-hour concert in Hawaii, which will be beamed worldwide by satellite. T-Rex Slade on Arcade album. So, yeah, that's just a cheapo label, was it? A label, I think. As I remember. Anything else going on here? An advert for Judge Dredd and Big Six. As we know from a previous What the Papers Said, Judge Dredd wasn't big on David Bowie, but hey, I'm sure it was mutual. Pete Townsend, Gubbins there. John Peel, he was often photographed in the bath for his column. So I can show you that there. You were getting that? I think we might be getting it. Ooh, there we go. You get it over there anyway. John Peel in the bath, if that's what you wanted to see. You've seen it, courtesy of Cheap Things. Nothing particularly outlandish. 10 years after, not a band really on my radar. Certainly not on my radar is John Pantry, son of a thief. Who's John Pantry? Now, we've often seen this in these papers, whereby the record label, which is a record label, Phonogram, they really get behind somebody and give them a big advertising campaign, and obviously got some kind of faith in the artist in question. But John Pantry, never heard of him. So there you go, John, where are you? Now, this is where it gets interesting, not least because it's a really peculiar, it's an album cover, I do remember it, Mama Lion, Lynn Carey, and the advertising for it was a lady breastfeeding a tiger, which does predate Tiger Milk by Belle and Sebastian. Their album had a lady called Jo on the cover, and she was breastfeeding a toy. So this predates it a long time, but Lynn Carey again, where are you now? We don't know. But this is where it gets really interesting. We've got a David Bowie 4-page pull-out, and there's a poster as well. It is good, this. I like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to photograph the pages so that you can actually read what is in there if you want to. But this, yeah, I'm liking this a lot. For a singularly unusual person, David Bowie's beginnings are surprisingly normal and suburban. There is nothing in his early background that would suggest a latent upsurge of personal peculiarities and musical genius. And there wasn't, to anyone's knowledge, a thunderstorm or other strange portents over Brixton on the night he was born in 1947. His school career served only to give an interest in art, which ultimately resulted in his first job as a commercial artist. He hated it. The young Bowie had taken an interest in playing sax, which he does fairly well, so he formed his own band and called them Davy Jones and the Lower Third. So, skipping about a bit there, really. Who wrote this in the first place? Is it Andrew Tyler? Beg your pardon. But it's very nice, not least because of the poster. Got a couple of little tears in it, but it's tidy, that, isn't it? So I am looking after this, as you would imagine. I'll put that down there. Just an old poser. Andrew Tyler sees a man on stage and then breakfast with Bowie. So that's the middle of it. I love that picture at the top right hand corner there. And there is a quote from Davy Bowie which says, "Any society that allows people like Lou Reed and I to become rampant is really pretty well lost." So there you go, he's setting his stall out. There's also a kind of a slightly tongue-in-cheek escapade there with a journalist trying to get hold of Ziggy Stardust for an interview. And there's an exchange with his PR guy, which I'm guessing is Di Davis, who I interviewed for Cheap Things previously. So this journalist Gavin Petrie keeps ringing up Di Davis, possibly, asking him for an interview with Ziggy. And Di Davis is getting more and more annoyed with him, saying he's a figment of Davy Bowie's imagination, get lost kind of thing. But again, I will photograph that and stick it up on Cheap Things so you can have a look. 50 Bowie LPs to be won. Somebody here has filled in some of these. Which well-known record producer played bass for David around the Space Oddity period? Tony Visconti, it says here. Which song on the Hunky Dory album was dedicated to David's baby son? Somebody's written Kooks in. And what was David's first professional group called? The Lower Third. Yeah, okay, so but this is the continuing saga of Disc from September 1972. Yeah, nothing particularly mad interesting there. You've got the American section with Ringo Starr, and it's talking about Ringo Starr working with Mark Bolan, which of course he does on Born to Boogie. That's it really. Yeah, nothing else to report. But I will put the Bowie article up there. The back is the David Cassidy, as was mentioned on the front cover. But there you go, free poster and 4-page special on David Bowie. They weren't lying. Cheers, Cheap Things. Bye.